So first things first, I just got to make sure that I put this out there that I did have an error in my last video in regards to the trade between Kingston and Windsor. I said that Ethan Miedema was traded from the Frontenacs to the Spitfires when in fact it was Luke McNamara who's on his way to the Spitfires for a fifth round pick from Niagara. So want to make sure I get that out of the way right now because I felt awful. It was pointed out by one of a viewer saying that you meant to say McNamara is on his way to Windsor, not Miedema. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. First things first with this trade deadline update video. And I will be doing two separate videos because, of course, today is the Overager trade deadline. At the time of recording, still waiting to see if some trades will trickle through. So I'm going to wait on that. But on the meantime, wanted to update you with where we're at as we're now less than 24 hours away from the OHL trade deadline, which, of course, is tomorrow at noon. So the first trade to talk about here is between the Owen Sound Attack and the Flint Firebirds. This trade came yesterday afternoon, and this one's a significant one as the Flint Firebirds have acquired Sam McCue and four draft picks, and one of those being Oshawa's second round pick in 2027 for Cole Zurawski and a 15th round pick in 2026. So Sam McCue, one of the players that a lot of teams were targeting. He's a 2005, so he could come back for an overage season next year. That was one of the key qualities for him. Plus, he has championship experience with the Peterborough Petes from 2 seasons ago. So Sam McCue on his way to the Flint Firebirds, although I'm hearing that McCue might not report to Flint. It sounds like there's some hesitancy there. I haven't been able to confirm that as of yet, but we will have to wait and see what happens on that front because Sam McCue would do great with the Flint Firebirds. The Firebirds, I feel like they're a team that has the talent. It's just they need that one piece, I feel, to just get that chemistry going and get this team in the right direction. They had a tough loss last night in Brantford, but we'll have to wait and see with Sam McCue. Does he report to the Flint Firebirds? Or do the Firebirds look to move him to another team who's interested? I know there were a few teams looking at Sam McCue at the Owen Sound Attack, but this was the trade that went through. But for Owen Sound, too, they're a team looking to rebuild, and Zurawski, a great pickup. He played last night for the Attack in their win over the Barrie Colts. He looks like he's going to be fantastic going forward. And what's also neat, too, is that now they've acquired Zurawski. They now have the number 6 and number 7 overall picks from the 2024 OHL priority selection because Pierce Bowie was selected 7th overall right after Cole Zurawski. So it's going to be fun to see their development going forward. But we'll keep an eye on Sam McCue if he does in fact report to the Flint Firebirds. But still a tough situation there because Sam McCue this year, 18 goals, 13 assists, good for 31 points so far. He's a left-handed shot, 6'2", 191 pounds, a very speedy forward. So I feel like he'll contribute well for the Flint Firebirds. While Zurawski, in his rookie season, 33 games, but he's got 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. So not too shabby from the Barrie native as he's made his presence known with the Flint Firebirds this year. And then last night, he was a -1, but he still got 4 shots on goal. I felt like he stood out for the Owen Sound Attack in last night's game. So I do like this move for Owen Sound. Hopefully McCue reports to the Flint Firebirds, or maybe they can resolve that one way or another because this is a pretty significant trade for both teams. Now, another trade involving a 2005-born player is Kaiden Johnston going from the Sarnia Sting to the Saginaw Spirit for a 10th round pick. I kind of surprised by this deal by the fact that Sarnia acquired Johnston at the beginning of the season for a 5th round pick from the London Knights, and now they're flipping him for a 10th. So obviously Johnston hasn't had too much success this season with the Sarnia Sting. 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points in 34 games. I kind of felt when the trade was first made at the start of the season that Kaiden Johnston would be able to flourish with the Sarnia Sting because Johnston, he was leading the OHL in points in the preseason, 8 points in 4 games of action, including 5 goals. Johnston looked fantastic, but we knew that once players started returning to the London Knights lineup, that Johnston would go down in the depth chart, and that's why the London Knights ended up trading him to Sarnia, but it just wasn't able to work out for Johnston there. So we'll see what happens with the Saginaw Spirit. Obviously, the Saginaw Spirit making some moves yesterday with the Kingston Frontenacs, so there's some positions there that Johnston might be able to fit into, and we'll see if he's able to pick up his game as a member of the Saginaw Spirit. And sticking with Saginaw, they've named Michael Misa the 26th captain in franchise history, so congratulations to Michael Misa. I know I had a few videos on here talking about would Saginaw trade Michael Misa to recoup picks, but yesterday they got 16 picks for 3 players from the Kingston Frontenac. So the draft cupboard looking a lot better today than it did at the start of yesterday. And for Michael Misa, he is a great talent. He's got 66 points this year. Right now, trailing just Liam Greentree for the league in points. Also 32 points to his credit. I know Nick Lardis got 33 last night. So he's a fantastic athlete. And for the Saginaw Spirit, hopefully they can turn things around as this team wanting to have another deep run. The Western Conference has been very quiet on the trade front. And maybe this is a way for Saginaw to maybe try to avoid London in the second round of the playoffs, try and maybe move up the standings to get a better seed. But the Western Conference is very fascinating right now, especially when you've got Windsor and Kitchener not looking to add big pieces as they're younger teams. They're looking to the future. So this is where a team like Saginaw could maybe slide in there. What about the Flint Firebirds? Could they move up? But time will tell. Now, a team that I was expecting would be a buyer at the OHL trade deadline was the Erie Otters. And I'm getting word from a couple of people this morning that they might actually become sellers here at the trade deadline. Matthew Schaefer, of course, suffered a broken collarbone at the World Juniors with Team Canada, so he's going to be out until March. And the team, I kind of thought they'd be near the top, chasing the London Knights for top spot in the Midwest Division, but they're well behind both London and Kitchener here at the trade deadline. Last night, they beat the Guelph Storm. They had to come back to win in overtime. And remember, Guelph right now at the bottom of the Western Conference standings. So it sounds like there could be some movement with the Erie Otters before the trade deadline tomorrow. A couple pieces might be heading out. So for Erie, it almost seems like maybe they're just kicking the can down the road. Maybe next year is a year that they're looking at as a go-in year because Schaefer should be back. Malcolm Spence should be back. Erliden, does he come back? He should, I would assume. But yeah, it sounds like the Erie Otters, they might be sellers here before the trade deadline tomorrow. And another piece to keep an eye on, Luca Pinelli of the Ottawa 67s. There have been so many rumors about where Luca Pinelli would land. And it sounds as though a trade with Brantford may have fallen through. Haven't heard the details yet because everything was looking at as the Brantford Bulldogs is the likely landing spot. That could still happen between now and the trade deadline, but we were thinking that maybe because Ottawa needed to cut down on the number of the overagers, that maybe there would have been a deal in place between Ottawa and Brantford, but that seems to have fallen through, but we'll have to wait and see at this point. So he's going to be the big name to follow between now and the OHL trade deadline. Along with Quentin Musty, I know there's still a lot of question marks. Does he stay? Does he go with Sudbury? Jet Luchenko, it sounds like he's sticking with the Guelph Storm unless a team is able to put together a package that George Burnett can't say no to. So that's kind of where we stand right now. But yeah, the trade deadline, less than 24 hours away. That's how I see it from the booth. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on any of the trades so far. And what do you think of our potential options going forward for a team like the Erie Otters or even Luca Penelli? Where does he end up? Or does he stay in Ottawa? We'll have to wait and see. Appreciate all the interactions. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you again soon.